Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of our Easy Peasy Clean Eating Challenge. We are going to help you get through the holidays, enjoy the holidays, and still hit your health goals. So, if you are seeing me on YouTube or on a Facebook business page, you can hop over to our free group and join us in the challenge to get more tips on this. Just look for the link in the comments and you can join us there. And hopefully, my internet is fine. Connection is unstable. So, hopefully, usually on replay, these are fine. So, hopefully, these are fine. So with this challenge, I call it the Easy Peasy Clean Eating Challenge because we're not doing full clean eating here, but we are taking some baby steps that are going to make it easier to create habits that will help you stay on track during the holidays without adding a lot of extra work. So we want to give you some shortcuts to be able to do things that are going to keep you healthy, keep the cravings away, and get through the holidays without the holiday weight gain, with more energy, with less inflammation, all of that good stuff. So yesterday we talked about the 3 different rules. Today I wanted to zero in on breakfast and particularly on protein for breakfast. So protein we know helps to minimize the cravings, and there are several studies that show that protein, particularly in the morning, particularly for women, particularly for menopausal women, that high protein in the morning helps with weight loss. It helps with losing the kind of menopot belly that some people described, and also helps with energy and weight loss and reducing cravings. So we know that there's a lot of benefits, particularly in menopause. And also there are some studies that as estrogen is decreasing, our bone density starts to decrease, and increasing protein in the morning, particularly with vegan protein, can help improve your bone density. So it is really important for us to be getting that protein in the morning. And I particularly hone in on breakfast because so often we get a lot of protein at night at dinner, but we don't get a lot of protein for breakfast. So that's one of the things to kind of talk about. And there are some particular studies about specifically protein for breakfast. So let's talk about breakfast. And I also want to talk about the prize for this challenge as well. So I'll mention that. So the prize for this challenge, I found these silicone baking cups, and I'll talk about them in a minute. So you'll get these silicone baking cups. These are great for any kind of baking, but also for egg cups, which I'll talk about. Plus, you're going to get a Starbucks gift card and some recipes to be able to use this as well. So that's the prize. And to be able to be eligible for that, just keep checking in each day. It doesn't matter how good you do on clean eating. It's not about that. It's really just staying engaged with this challenge. So let's talk about breakfast. So when people think about high protein breakfast, what's the first food that you think comes to mind? So whether you're watching this live or on the replay, you can drop that in the comments. Typically, that's eggs. So one thing to keep in mind is that one egg only has 6 grams of protein in it. So if your goal, like we talked about yesterday, is 20 grams of protein for breakfast, it's going to be more than one egg, or you'll use the egg in combination with other things. So that's one thing to be aware of. Sometimes people are surprised that, oh, it's only 6 grams. So that's at least, 3 eggs, unless you're doing something else with it. So you can do eggs, and I recommend egg cups, particularly if you want to make life easier, because there's a lot of different variations you can do. You can make the egg cups in a muffin tin, but you want to use the silicone inserts here. I've not found anything that doesn't make them stick. They stick like crazy. I've tried every different kind of thing to make them not stick, but silicone is magic for these egg cups. So you can do a lot of variations. They are in the freezer well, and they reheat well, and they're easy to take with you. You can have them for breakfast, for lunch, just add some berries with it, and boom, you have a great balanced meal there right away. So that's one thing. However, a lot of times people get kind of sick of eggs in the morning. I totally understand that. So the next one that people think about is yogurt and granola. So you want to be careful. Yeah. Yeah, you use them for egg cups. They're magic for egg cups. So, and egg cups can really just transform, make your life so much. You can just vary, put so many different things in it. It takes like a second to redo it. So let's talk about the other thing that people think of is I'm actually gonna, this wasn't next on my list, but is oatmeal. So this is another breakfast, right? Oatmeal. So oatmeal does tend to spike blood sugar for people, but you can stop that by adding a nut butter to your oatmeal. And I know that seems weird to add a nut butter, but it really slows down the blood sugar impact. So two things, don't use the packets. You know, you can buy the boxes with the packets of oatmeal and they have like brown sugar and apple cinnamon, whatever. Don't use those packets because you cannot control the amount of sugar that's in those things. And there's typically a lot of sugar in those things. So if you're going to do oatmeal, you want to do just, regular quick cooking oats, or you can do steel cut oats. They just take a little longer to make, but you definitely want to add a nut butter to these to slow them down, because most people do find it sends them on the blood sugar roller coaster, which means then you're going to be hungrier later, and then you're going to have more cravings later. So that's the tip for oatmeal. Another common breakfast and a pitfall to watch out for is yogurt and granola. So here's something to watch out for yogurt and granola. And that is a lot of these granola. See these little nuggets? They're like stuck together clumps. Guess what? Any kind of food that's stuck together in clumps, guess what makes it stick together? Sugar. That's typically anytime you see clumps of something, it's sugar that's sticking it together. Good morning, Elaine. So, like, for example, this does have protein in it, but it's got 14 grams of sugar and only 10 grams of protein in it. So this is going to send you on the roller coaster ride. And most yogurts, when you look at them, have at least 10 or more grams of sugar. Some of them have 19 or 20. Some of them are as much as a soda. So you add this 10 grams of sugar to the 20 grams of sugar that's in yogurt, and you've got 30 grams of sugar, and you've got some protein there and some healthy fat, but not enough to offset that. So that's the thing to watch out for with granola. Now, there are different ways to prepare granola that don't involve sugar, but most of the time when you buy it out in the world, you're going to find it's full of sugar. So that's one of the things to watch out for with granola and yogurt. So the last thing that you can do that I recommend for your breakfast is to do a protein shake, because a protein shake can give you lots of nutrients. It can give you a lot of protein, and it gives you a lot of options, and it's really portable. So here are some things to look for in a protein shake. Every protein shake is going to be sweetened with something. You want to stay away from artificial sweeteners. So you want to use something natural. That could be some cane sugar, as long as the protein and the fiber is 3 times as much as the sugar that's in it. You could be stevia or monk fruit. So make sure that it has not a ton of sugar in it. Number 2, it has to taste great. If it doesn't taste great, you're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to use it. So it has to really taste great. You also, with whey can be upsetting for your stomach. So you might want to stay away from whey. And soy can have some issues, particularly if you have thyroid issues. It can cause some hormonal issues as well. So you want to look out for that. So I recommend this protein shake. And there may be some Black Friday deals coming with this. So I recommend this protein shake. And one of the other things to look for is to make sure that you have minerals and vitamins in the shake. Sometimes you'll see a shake out and about that's just the protein. That's just the protein. So what we want to, obviously it would be great if we had, a fantastically prepared whole food breakfast. That's not always possible. So we want to get as close to whole food as we can. And so this we know is not going to have the gluten in it. We know it's not going to have some of the other preservatives in it. And we also know that it's got the vitamins and minerals in it so that it feels to the body like a full meal. It's also got fiber and it's also got healthy fat. So you want to make sure that you are getting a protein shake that you're going to use that's going to be complete and that's not going to throw things off as well. So today, what your homework is to share what do you typically have for breakfast? Or do you have a high protein breakfast that you like to have? Or what do you typically have for your breakfast? So those are the questions. Now you may know there's a high protein breakfast that I like, but do you actually have it? When life gets busy, what's the breakfast that you fall back on? Because we know we are kind of going into that busy season. So we need to be able to find things that we're going to love and be able to do quickly. So today we're talking all about breakfast and the importance of getting high protein for breakfast. So I will post the homework post later and we'll share some of the tips that I mentioned for these things as well. So just a reminder that you can win the silicone baking cups. These are great. You don't see these everywhere. You can win these silicone baking cups, a Starbucks gift card, and some recipes to use that, but stay engaged in all of the days of the training, which means just like watch the video and post on the check-in post. All right, I'll be seeing you around.